I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. Lesson 98 from the original edition in A Course in Miracles workbook for students. I'm Willie from the Ozarks, and let us read the lesson. I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. Thank you so much for joining me in this discovery of ourselves. Today is a day of special dedication. We take a stand on but one side today. We side with truth and let illusions go. We side with truth and let illusions go. We will not vacillate between the two, but take a firm position with the one. We dedicate ourselves to truth today and to salvation as God planned it be. We will not argue it is something else. We will not seek for it where it is not. In gladness we accept it as it is and take the part assigned to us by God. How happy to be certain. All our doubts we lay aside today and take our stand with certainty of purpose and with thanks that doubt is gone and surety has come. We have a mighty purpose to fulfill and have been given everything we need with which to reach the goal. Oh, listen to that. We have a mighty purpose to fulfill and have been given everything we need with which to reach the goal. Not one mistake stands in our way, for we have been absolved from errors. All our sins are washed away by realizing that they were but mistakes. All our sins are washed away by realizing they were but mistakes. The guiltless have no fear, for they are safe and recognize their safety. The guiltless have no fear, for they are safe and recognize their safety. They do not appeal to magic nor invent escapes from fancied threats without reality. They rest in quiet certainty that they will do what it is given them to do. Isn't that nice? That we'll rest in quiet certainty, knowing that we will do what it is given us to do. They do not doubt their own ability because they know their function will be filled completely in the perfect time and place. They took the stand which we will take today, that we may share their certainty and thus increase it by accepting it ourselves. They will be with us. All who took the stand we take today will gladly offer us all that they learned and every gain they made. Those still uncertain too will join with us, and borrowing our certainty will make it stronger still, while those as yet unborn will hear the call we heard and answer it when they have come to take their choice again. Oh, to make their choice again. Let's see, let's back up. Those still uncertain too will join with us and borrow our certainty will make it stronger still, while those as yet unborn will hear the call we heard and answer it. And when they have come to make their choice again, when they have come to make their choice again, we do not choose but for ourselves today. Well, remember, we're part of the whole. Is it not worth 5 minutes of your time each hour to be able to accept the happiness that God has given you? Take 5 minutes. Is it not worth 5 minutes? And listen to this bargain that he's going to tell us that we're a bargain that we can't lose. Is it not worth 5 minutes of your time each hour to be able to accept the happiness that God has given you? Is it not worth 5 minutes hourly to recognize your special function here? Is not 5 minutes of the hour but a small request to make in terms of rewards so great it has no measure? You have made 1,000 losing bargains at the least. Here is an offer guaranteeing you your full release from pain of every kind and joy the world does not contain. You can exchange a little of your time for peace of mind and certainty of purpose with the promise of complete success. And since time has no meaning, you are being asked for nothing in return for everything. Since time has no meaning, you're being asked for nothing in return for everything. Here is a bargain that you cannot lose, and what you gain is limitless indeed. Each hour today, give him your tiny gift of but 5 minutes. He will give the words you use in practicing today's idea the deep conviction and the certainty you lack. His words will join with yours and make each repetition of today's idea a total dedication, made in faith, as perfect and as sure as is His in you. His confidence in you will bring the light to all the words you say, and you will go beyond their sound to what they really mean. Today we practice with Him as you say, I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. I want to put a note in here that when I suggest that maybe you memorize something, I want to really emphasize how important it is that you get the meaning and not so much be caught up with the exact words. Even though the words are, I've never been able to think up really better words. I've thought of other ones, other rearrangements of words that mean the same thing. But, spending time memorizing these lessons wouldn't be a bad idea, at least for the parts that you need to say, like I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. The lesson yesterday was a little long, but it would have been a nice one to memorize. I don't usually try to actually memorize them, even though they kind of come to you after you do them several times. But Spirit am I, a holy Son of God, free of all limits, safe and healed and whole, free to forgive and free to save the world. Well, there was a lot in that lesson yesterday. And what I wanted to point out was just the importance of not being too caught up with the exact words, but be sure to get the meaning. His confidence in you will bring the light to all the words you say, and you will go beyond their sound to what they really mean. Today we practice with Him as you say, I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. In each 5 minutes that you spend with Him, He will accept your words and give them back to you, all bright with faith and confidence so strong and steady, they will light the world with hope and gladness. Do not lose one chance to be the glad receiver of His gifts, that you may give them to the world today. Give Him the words, and He will do the rest. He will enable you to understand your special function. He will open up the way to happiness. And peace and trust will be His gifts, His answer to your words. He will respond with all His faith and joy and certainty that what you say is true. And you will have conviction then of Him who knows the function that you have on earth as well as heaven. He will be with you each practice period you share with Him, exchanging every instant of the time you offer Him for timelessness and peace. And of course, He wants us to take the first 5 minutes of each hour, but if you can't do that, and He understands there'll be times when you can't, well, at least try to bring the idea up in your mind during the hour, even if it can't be at the beginning of the hour. Try to keep the idea, I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation, close as a thought today. So He will be with you each practice period you share with Him, exchanging every instant of the time you offer Him for timelessness and peace. Throughout the hour, let your time be spent in happy preparation for the next 5 minutes you will spend again with Him. Repeat today's idea while you wait for the glad time to come to you again. Repeat it often and do not forget. Each time you do so, you have let your mind be readied for the happy time to come. He wants these 5 minutes to be something you look forward to. Not something you think, oh my gosh, how am I going to spend 5 minutes every hour? We don't want to do that. I mean, even if you go kicking and screaming, it's still a bargain you can't lose. But He doesn't want coercion to be our guide, okay? Lesson 13, no guilt either. Do the best you can. And if you can't do it, well, you always have tomorrow. That's how I see it. And I mean, we're eternal, aren't we? We're going to last forever. We're going to be eternal. So you really can't ever get it wrong. You can either not be happy right now, or you can be stepping to your happiness right now. When the hour is gone and He is there once more to spend a little time with you, be thankful and lay down all earthly tasks, all little thoughts and limited ideas, and spend a happy time again with Him. Tell Him once more that you accept the part which He would have you take and help you fill, and He will make you sure you want this choice, which He has made with you, and you with Him. All right, let's go take a look in our text reading today. Our text reading being in chapter 16. We're ready to start section 5, 16 being the forgiveness of illusion, section 5 being illusion and reality of love. While you're turning there, let me tell you, I've still got my BrandyWine pink sitting out here, and I thought, I probably ought to take those in. It could have frosted last night, and I think it's going to frost here in a day or two, what I'm hearing. But anyway, the BrandyWine pinks I told you about yesterday, I actually wanted to tell you a little bit more about them, and I didn't. BrandyWine pinks, I did mention to you that they're, I got the seeds from Burpees Seed Company. And it says that they're a late forming tomato, but that they're well worth the wait. They're a large beefsteak shaped tomato, and they date back to 1885. So I just wanted to fill you in on that. And then today I wanted to talk to you about Crisphead lettuce. Crispheads, like iceberg type lettuces. This lettuce type, the Crispheads, which I've already told you a little bit about them, but this lettuce type is known for having tight heads of crisp, sturdy leaves and mild flavor. While Crisphead is ideal tossed fresh into salads, it also works well shredded in tacos and fajitas. It may be a virtual staple on salad bars and the classic BLT sandwich, yet Crisphead also works well cut into wedges and served drizzled with creamy salad dressing. Sounds good, huh? Tennis ball is the variety I wanted to talk to you about today, grown by Thomas Jefferson in Monticello. This variety produces small rosettes of light green leaves that measure only 7 inches in diameter and form loose, tender heads. According to Heirloom Vegetable Gardening by Seed Savers Exchange member William Woys Weaver, tennis ball lettuces were often pickled in salt brine during the 17th and 18th century. And it's a black-seeded butterhead. So, okay, butterhead, Crisphead. All right, let us continue now on our text reading. We're starting paragraph 30, which is there at the beginning of illusion and reality. Be not afraid to look upon the special hate relationship, for freedom lies in looking at it. Special hate relationship. For freedom lies in looking at it. It would be impossible not to know the meaning of love except for this. It would be impossible to not know the meaning of love except that you have these special hate relationships. You actually hate certain people. Well, he says, for the special love relationship in which the meaning is lost, for the special love relationship in which the meaning of love is lost, is undertaken solely to offset the hate, but not to let it go. Your salvation will rise clearly before your open eyes as you look on this. You cannot limit hate. The special love relationship will not offset it, but will merely drive it underground and out of sight. It is essential to bring it into sight and to make no attempt to hide it. For it is the attempt to balance hate with love that makes love meaningless to you. The extent of the split that lies in this you do not realize. And until you do, the split will remain unrecognized and therefore unhealed. Our lesson today, I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation, is kind of a commitment to sort out the special love and hate relationship, or the special hate relationship, and to let it go in place of God's plan. Paragraph 21, or 30, did I say 20 early? It's 30 and 31. The symbols of hate against the symbols of love play out a conflict which does not exist. For symbols stand for something else, and the symbol of love is without meaning if love is everything. Isn't that neat? For symbols stand for something else, and the symbol of love is without meaning if love is everything. You will go through this last undoing quite unharmed and will at last emerge as yourself. Wow, he's pointing us in a direction to find ourselves quite quickly by looking at the special hate relationships that we have nursed inside ourselves and think that they're valuable and protect us and form our self-identity, which is all an illusion, but we've made illusion seem to be reality. Now we're wanting to shift that and change it back to seeing reality. Okay, you will go through this last undoing quite unharmed and will at last emerge as yourself. This is the last step in the readiness for God. Be not unwilling now, you are too near, and you will cross the bridge in perfect safety, translated quietly from war to peace. For illusions of love will never satisfy, but its reality which awaits you on the other side will give you everything. We're going to cross that bridge where all of our creations and all of the family, where everyone exists in reality, on the other side of the bridge. And he says God will bring us across. Our feet are planted firmly on it, and we've built the bridge. Now we're going to walk across it. The special love relationship is an attempt to limit the destructive effects of hate by finding a haven in the storm of guilt. Listen to that again. The special love relationship is an attempt to limit the destructive effects of hate by finding a haven in the storm of guilt. You know, when your life is filled with bitterness and you see so many evils all around you and you're angry and upset so often, you look for some relief, and the relief we found is a special love relationship, which is hopefully, we're doing it to find a haven from all that pain. But he says there's a better way. He's going to show us what it is. It makes no attempt to rise above the storm into the sunlight. On the contrary, it emphasizes guilt outside the haven by attempting to build barricades against it and keep within them. The special love relationship is not perceived as a value in itself, but as a place of safety from which hatred is split off and kept apart. The special love partner is acceptable only as long as he or she serves this purpose. The special love partner is acceptable only as long as he serves this purpose. Hatred can enter and indeed is welcome in some aspects of the relationship, but it is still held together by the illusion of love. If the illusion goes, the relationship is broken or becomes unsatisfying on the grounds of disillusionment. Paragraph 33, love is not an illusion. It is a fact. Where disillusionment is possible, there was not love but hate. For hate is an illusion, and what can change was never love. And what can change was never love. It is certain that those who select certain ones as partners in any aspect of living and use them for any purpose which they would not share with others are trying to live with guilt rather than die of it. Then we probably better look at that one again. It is certain that those who select certain ones as partners as in an aspect of living and use them for any purpose which they would not share with others are trying to live with guilt rather than die of it. This is the choice they see, and love to them is only an escape from death. They seek it desperately, but not in the peace in which it would gladly come quietly to them. And when they find the fear of death is still upon them, the love relationship loses the illusion that it is what it is not. For then the barricades against it are broken. Fear rushes in, and hatred triumphs. Paragraph 34. There are no triumphs of love. There are no triumphs of love. Only hate is concerned with the triumph of love at all. The illusion of love can triumph over the illusion of hate, but always at the price of making both illusions. As long as the illusion of hatred lasts, so long will love be an illusion to you. So long as the illusion of hatred lasts, so long will love be an illusion to you. And then the only choice which remains possible is which illusion you prefer. There is no conflict in the choice between truth and illusion. Seen in these terms, no one would hesitate. But conflict enters the instant the choice seems to be one between illusions, for this choice does not matter. Where one choice is as dangerous as the other, the decision must be despair. 35. I maybe shouldn't be laughing about that one, huh? Maybe we ought to be like, oh my, that we've got ourselves all tangled up in illusions to the point that we reach despair. But it's easily changed if we'll just do our lessons for the day. Today we would say, how's he say it? I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. I think I'll let illusions go and not worship idols anymore. Instead, I'll just follow the peace of the Holy Spirit within and do what He guides me to do today. See the good in everyone. See the Christ. Okay, so there are no triumphs of love. Only hate is concerned with the triumph of love at all. Let's go ahead and read that paragraph again. The illusion of love can triumph over the illusion of hate, but always at the price of making both illusions. As long as the illusion of hatred lasts, so long will love be an illusion to you. And then the only choice which remains possible is which illusion you prefer. There is no conflict in the choice between truth and illusion. Seen in these terms, no one would hesitate. But conflict enters the instant the choice seems to be one between illusions. For this choice does not matter. Where one choice is as dangerous as the other, the decision must be one of despair. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself which you have built against it. Blocks to love. We're going to remove the blocks to love's awareness, which we learned back in the introduction. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself which you have built against love. Remember, he started off this section, be not afraid to look upon the special hate relationship, for freedom lies in looking at it. So we're going to find all these barriers to love, these blocks to the awareness of love's presence, so that we can make a new choice and decide against illusion in favor of truth. Makes sense, doesn't it? Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself which you have built against it. It is not necessary to seek for what is true, but it is necessary to seek for what is false. Every illusion is one of fear, whatever form it takes. And the attempt to escape from one illusion into another must fail. If you seek love outside yourself, you can be certain that you perceive hatred within and are afraid of it. Yet peace will never come from the illusion of love, but only from its reality. Recognize this, for it is true, and truth must be recognized if it is to be distinguished from illusion. The special love relationship is an attempt to bring love into separation. And as such, it is nothing more than an attempt to bring love into fear and make it real in fear. In fundamental violation of love's condition, the special love relationship would accomplish the impossible. How but in illusion could this be done? It is essential that we look very closely at exactly what it is you think you can do to solve the dilemma, which seems very real to you, but which does not exist. You have come very close to truth, and only this stands between you and the bridge that leads you into it. Wow, we're going to find out the blocks to stepping across that bridge, huh? Okay, well, let's take one more look at I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. Wow, maybe we better call it good. We're taking a lot of time today. I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. You accept your part in God's plan for salvation, and until we meet again, oftentimes tell yourself, hopefully after the first 5 minutes of every waking hour, I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation.